What's up, world? This is Salim, and today we're reviewing Mr. Order 66 himself, Darth Sidious, also known as Chancellor Palpatine from Revenge of the Sith.
Flip for fades.
When I flip, you flip, we flip.
All right, so accessories wise, this is everything you're going to get in the box. You're going to get 7 regular hands, 4 for one side and 3 for the other. You're going to get a Force Lightning hand for each side. The hand sculpts are really nice and rightfully creepy. So you could see this one kind of has a lot of gesture in it. And then you get some lightsaber holding hands right here, and then you have these two, which I thought were interesting because they're almost identical. If you want to take a look here, they look like almost exactly the same. There's just very little differences, and I thought maybe mine is an error because you only get one side for both of these instead of one of each. But yeah, they just look really similar to even have any differences. But I guess I don't know, kind of weird. And then you get the standard lightsaber hilt with the extra swooshing effect blade. And then you get the lit lightsaber hilt, which is compatible with both blades. And I have it hooked up there via USB. And I have him displayed right now with the other Force Lightning hand. The display base is the new kind of round style that we've been getting with a lot of the new figures ever since I think Darth Vader 40th anniversary and C3PO from Return of the Jedi. And the texture here is actually cool. Even though it looks like flat screen printing, you can kind of see there with the shadows that these are little ridges there. So there is some nice detail there. I haven't seen this kind of platform before, but it's really cool. It doesn't light up, unfortunately. That would have been a nice touch for Darth Sidious. But nonetheless, it's got a lot of nice detail on there. So accessories wise, pretty minimal what we've come to expect from Hot Toys as of late. Even deluxe versions are starting to come with very little accessories, and so a little disappointing we didn't get more. I don't know what else they could have included that would have been fitting, but it would have been nice to have a deluxe version with one of maybe the Senate seats that he was throwing around, because then if you have the Coruscant guards, you could have displayed those with him. But other than that, yeah, that's everything that's going to come in the box. All right, let's take a close look at this head sculpt because this thing is creepy. I know Star Wars isn't meant to be like scary per se, but I think this could scare anyone. If this was like in a horror movie and this guy showed up, I mean, he looks the part, very much like what you're seeing in the new Conjuring and kind of Insidious movies, but man, he just looks maniacal, and rightfully so. He just officially revealed himself after all that work he put in, trying to trick everybody and orchestrating a whole Clone Wars just to be able to kind of take over the galaxy. And, he got what he wanted. And so he's super happy. Look at that face. I mean, A plus Darth Sidious, aka Palpatine, aka the Phantom Menace, because you did your thing. You got what you wanted. And this head sculpt is just maniacal. Now, I plan to keep the hood on because the hood just really completes the look with Darth Sidious, and it is wired, so you could definitely get it there, and the shadows make him look even creepier. But I'm obsessed with this head sculpt. I think it's just perfect. The moving eyes, I did move them off to one side, and yeah, he's just that's Papa Palpatine. All right, let's take a look at this outfit because it is regal. This is a nice velvety material, and it's clipped here with this little ornamental kind of brooch thing. And then you do also have that velvety material underneath his neck there. You get full articulation from the neck, and then you can kind of see underneath he's wearing this like detailed kind of brown piece, which you could see over here. This is kind of a nice woven material as well. And then underneath there, he's just kind of wearing a fabric undersuit, which means he can get into a lot of articulation. You have pleather boots there, which we've come to expect from Hot Toys, unfortunately. This outer robe is wired, so you can get a lot of kind of dynamic movement out of there. Really cool. Articulation wise, you can get him into all kinds of crazy poses. Kind of anything you want to achieve there in terms of poses. Everything is just woven and has a lot of detail on there. You can see you have kind of the velvet cuffs. This velvet, kind of I don't know what this is called, like a shawl almost, because it is attached to the hood from the back, so it's not a separate piece. I almost thought it was because it looks like you could kind of pull this over his head, but you can't. It's all one piece. But the detail is still there, and I just love this hood. I wish they gave Anakin Artisan this kind of wired hood, because you can get it to just sit over his head any way you want. And again, you can get him into all types of flippy poses. If you want to have him, like Yoda flipping him over his chair and everything like that, you can accomplish that because the fabric undersuit is superposable. You can get, almost a 90-degree angle out of there. But yeah, the outfit feels very, high quality, especially compared to his Return of the Jedi robes, which were, still had some detail on them, but this is just next level. And then this portion of the outfit is also wired. Like I said, the everything is wired where you would want it to be, so you can get some really cool poses there and make it look like he's in motion. All right, and here just a quick comparison shot of the original Emperor Palpatine from Return of the Jedi with his throne. You can see that the sculpt is very different. I mean, the smile is different. The brow is different. It's a completely new head sculpt, so it's not reuse or anything like that. He obviously looks more fiendish in the Revenge of the Sith head sculpt. He had just kind of gotten all of his power and went cray cray. And so, on the right is him after being emperor for so many years and kind of being comfortable in his position. But I love having both of these figures now. I love having my, Palpatine from the original trilogy and my Palpatine from the prequel trilogy. They're both just incredible figures. And I mean, man, they just have so much presence. Alrighty, folks, let's talk about Darth Sidious here. So this specific look is from his final battle in Revenge of the Sith with Yoda. This is after he's officially become Darth Sidious. And so this specific outfit is just from that scene specifically. Now, for many people, I think where they were a little bit bummed when this was announced, because they wanted his maroon and red, outfit from when he was still Chancellor Palpatine, and that figure was actually just announced around, Revenge of the Fifth earlier, or May the 4th, not Revenge of the Fifth, May the 4th earlier this year, and that one does come with a standard Ian McDiarmid head sculpt as well as the Unlimited Power deformed head sculpt. And so I think for many fans, they felt kind of bamboozled because they had already pre-ordered this figure, and this wasn't the iconic look that they wanted. And they may have held off on getting this figure altogether if they knew the other one was coming. I, on the other hand, appreciate that there's going to be both, because I plan to display the other one with the Ian McDiarmid head sculpt as my Chancellor Palpatine representing, the prequel trilogy. And this is going to be my prequel trilogy Darth Sidious battling Yoda, officially looking like a beast from the end of that movie. So, full disclosure, I'm extremely excited and happy with this figure, as we'll get into. I got into Hot Toys Star Wars a few months ago, and so I've kind of been playing catch up. And in terms of new releases, there hasn't really been anything that's, come out in the last few months that I was super excited about. I mean, we got Han Solo from Return of the Jedi. There's been some Ahsoka, releases, and like the Airborne Trooper and Captain Cody 2.0 from Revenge of the Sith. But this is the first figure that I was just so anxious to have. And I got it from Toys Assemble. It got delivered in just a few days, so I highly recommend them if you haven't ordered from them before. But yeah, this figure is amazing. I love it. The quality, the fabric on the, everything is wired. Every part of his outfit is wired. The hood sits perfectly on his head, just as you would. The head sculpt's amazing. Moving eyes. So I highly recommend this action figure, even if you plan to get the other Palpatine. If you're like me, you can display the other Palpatine as the Chancellor Palpatine version in the red robes, and then this can be your Darth Sidious, and you put him in your Episode 3 display. I'm going to have him displayed with Yoda. I can't say enough good things about this figure. Highly recommend. Alrighty, guys, just for fun, I have the battle that I wish I could have seen, because I think if it was Yoda instead of Mace Windu, then I don't think that Anakin would have saved Darth Sidious. I think that Anakin would have let Yoda finish him off. But, Mace Windu was just the wrong person to be in there. He was always kind of a hater towards Anakin. And I think when it came down to saving Padme or, saving Mace Windu. I think there was no contest. I think if Yoda was the one there, then, they would have finished off Darth Sidious, but then we wouldn't have Darth Vader. So, all in all, everything kind of worked out in epic proportions. But yeah, I love this figure. He looks perfect next to Artisan Anakin. I'm super happy to have him in the collection. I can't wait for Chancellor Palpatine to arrive. And so if you haven't gauged it yet, based on everything I've telling you, go out and buy this figure ASAP.
When I flip, you flip, we flip.